Hi everybody, Josh Ford here. Just checking in. It's been a very interesting couple of days. Want to give you a chemtrail report and some new material that I've learned on it. But first, I have to just say bravo to everybody. The Florida shooting, which was a terrible thing, people absolutely died, but people are totally dealing with the crisis actors part of it. People, since last night, all day yesterday, people were hammering on the crisis actors that were out there. We figured out about David Hogg, his father's relationships to the FBI, being a former agent, and it just kept snowballing. It kept rolling, and it was crisis actors everywhere, and people were on top of that. So bravo, kudos, everybody did awesome. People were going on and on my feed about what is this crisis actors thing I saw last night. They're like, they can't be real. Is this real? I had people asking that all the time. So I was more than happy to tell them, yes, these crisis actors, they're for the oligarchy. What happened was, it was a staged event, a horrific staged event of the oligarchy to distract us and to create a way of disarming us. Now, before anyone goes on, I'm an NRA nut or whatever. Never been a member. Do I have a license to carry? Sure, I do. Sheriff. My dad was a police officer. I've been around guns my whole life, but I could take them or leave them. I really don't care. What the problem is the oligarchy wants to disarm us. So, and they're in the Democratic Party, they're in the Republican Party. When people come up with their silly arguments about, oh, well, that doesn't work because it's left versus right. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't exist to them. They're oligarchy. They're not Republican. They're not Democrat. They're working behind the scenes to destroy our country and enslave the American people. But their entire shit show of a scene that they created in Florida is just unraveling completely. And that's due to people like you and people like me that just weren't going to tolerate the lies anymore, and we're fighting for the truth. And so everyone that has been out there telling the truth, you're making a difference. You have turned the tide against the oligarchy, and that is absolutely what we have to do. So thank you, and whatever happens in the coming days, weeks, months, as we continue to resist with the alliance and Trump against the oligarchy, we have the truth on our side, and that is an amazing and powerful thing, and we've seen that today, as people are starting to realize that this was a very staged event. Las Vegas was a staged event. So it's really starting to catch on, and it seems like the oligarchy is running out of crisis actors because they're using the same people and the same kind of shtick over and over again. They don't have the resources they may have once had, and that's phenomenal, okay? Then the next thing I wanted to go on about was chemtrails. So as you know, I've been doing a lot of posts. I've done a video before this one about chemtrails and how we're seeing it every day. Every day the skies are absolutely covered in chemtrails. Today has been no exception. Absolutely terrible. Unfortunately, I try to take the family out, and you look up at the sky and you just see lines everywhere. I've been from Kingston to Plymouth today, a few other places, and it literally looked like in a few places like they were drawing a pentagram in the sky over the small city and town across from, as it was looking out over the lake. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It's a terrible thing. But the research that I was doing earlier was a video by David Icke. Okay, and if you don't know David, he's a very outspoken man from England, and he talks about the bloodlines and what's behind those from the reptilians. And this time he was actually making a video on chemtrails, so that caught my eye because I've been so into that lately. And he was talking about how when chemtrails started and people first started actually paying attention to chemtrails, it was right about the same time that a new disease popped up, Morgellons disease. It is this disease where under the skin there are these lines, okay? And, you know, you can bring up pictures on Google Images, put in Morgellons disease pictures. It's pretty horrific, not gonna lie. All these little lines are under the skin, and what they can do is these lines pop out of the skin, and you can actually pull these like strings out, and but they never stop coming. And David Icke was saying that there's a very good causal relation between the two, and frankly, you got to look at it and go, 2 and 2, does it make 4? So, but what he went on to explain was that, one thing that you hear all the time about chemtrails from no matter who's talking to geoengineering.com or just about any other source you're going to find on it, chemtrails have numerous reasons for their existence, from blocking out the sun to warming the environment. And David was explaining that there are also nanoparticulates, and not just particles, but nanorobots that they are dropping everywhere. Because one of the goals of the oligarchy is to computerize and turn people into robots. Because, we're supposed to be feeling emotional beings. We're supposed to have a spiritual side. And the more they made us afraid, the more they took away that spiritual side. And the more robotics they put into us, the more they take away that spiritual side. So by simply dumping these nanoparticulates and robotics from the skies over everything, it's their way of linking all of us together. And the Morgellons disease is from people whose bodies are rejecting these things, which, as horrific as it looks on the skin, you might be better off. All of us that are healthy and don't have Morgellons disease, you really have to wonder. I mean, for the last 2 weeks, I have absolutely looked every day out at the sky, and chemtrails everywhere, from one end of the sky to the other. Reports from people across the country that we're being sprayed like insects with this stuff. It's almost, it actually made me think of Star Trek, kind of, you're being assimilated by the Borg, they're coming to get you, and you're going to join this computer collective that the oligarchy has control over, whether you want to or not. It's terrible, and I believe Trump is on our side. I believe he's fighting for us, and there are things that, for the moment, are out of his control. I'm really hoping to see one day that soon that Trump puts an end, that Q will start talking about chemtrails, and that we'll put an end to the chemtrail problem. The longer it goes on, the more harm you see to the environment, to the trees. I have people that follow me that tell me about their husbands having Parkinson's, people having memory problems. I mean, there is a whole host of issues that go along with this. It's really unfortunate, and a lot of people are aware now, but we have to keep going. We got to keep pushing, and we got to deal with it, because, whoever is spraying us has to be stopped, one way or the other. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I wished, back in the day, the government supplied, ISIS and the freedom fighters in Afghanistan back in the day with shoulder-mounted rocket-propelled grenade launchers to shoot down all the Russian vehicles and stuff and planes. And I tell you, if I had one myself, I would certainly be out here dealing with the planes that are spraying at my family and my kids and my neighbors. We're all in danger and all at risk. One thing that seems certain about chemtrails is it is harmful to the human body. It is harmful to the environment. And it's an ongoing experiment against us. So I know I didn't sign up for any experiment to be done on me or my family, and I can't imagine any of you have had any signed away your rights to be experimented on here in the United States. So please, it's really tough these days to share on Facebook. Twitter is locked me out a long time ago, back when I was running for U.S. Senate against Warren, before I even got really into depth into what's going on behind the scenes. So it's up to you. You make the difference here. You can share this video, you can comment and tag where you are and say what the sky looks like where you are. And the longer that list grows and the more of us that get involved, the harder it is to hide it. And like we saw today and last night, we are the difference. We are making the difference here by just exposing the truth. And that's what this comes down to. It's just we need to expose it, we need to tell the truth, and we need to put an end to it. So thank you, everyone. Like I said, great job exposing those crisis actors. I want to thank everybody that has been, repeatedly writing down what the skies are like, taking pictures for me, sending it to me, and I've used some of those. Please send me what you got. I'm more than willing to take on any information you have to share that you think is relevant to what's going on in fighting the oligarchy and what needs to be shared with the American people. I'm a one-man army here, but I'm doing everything I can to, let's put an end to the oligarchy as quick and as fast as possible. It's the only way to roll. So I hope everybody has a great night, about halfway through the week. Hopefully it'll be a good week for everybody. We'll get to the weekend, and let's hope we have some clear blue skies, right? So peace out, everybody. Have a great day.